Question number 1. Factorize completely. Part A, 3x minus 6y plus ax minus 2ay, right? So we know they want us to factorize 3x minus 6y plus ax minus 2ay. One approach to this problem is that because there are 4 terms, we can factorize by grouping. We are going to group the first 2 terms. Now, here in the first group, we have 3x minus 6y. What we're going to do is to take out what is common. You have x, you have y, you have 3, you have 6. So the highest common factor of 3 and 6 is 3. So that means we can factor out a 3 from this part of the expression. After you take out the 3, you're going to open a bracket. And then you are going to use this 3 to divide each term. And whatever is left, you are going to write it inside of the bracket. So 3x divided by 3, leave x. So you're going to write the x here. Minus 6y divided by 3 leaves you with 2y. Now here, we are going to observe the term. So we have ax minus 2ax. A is common to both terms. That means we can factor out a positive a. So ax divided by a leave us with x. Minus 2ay divided by a leave us with minus 2y. Now, if you note here in this bracket I have x minus 2y, and in this bracket I have x minus 2y, which means that x minus 2y is common to both terms. That means we can factor out x minus 2y. So I'm going to write x minus 2y and open a bracket. If you factor out x minus 2y out of the first term, 3 is left. And if you factor out x minus 2y out of the second term, plus a is left. So therefore, our final answer is x minus 2y times 3 plus a. Part B. P squared minus 1. So they want us to factorize p squared minus 1. An expression of this kind is called a difference of 2 squares, right? What did they square to get p squared? They square p. So if you have p all squared, that gives you p squared. What did they square to give you 1? If you have 1 all squared, that's just 1, right? So here, we call them a difference of 2 squares. So what you're going to do, you're going to take out what is inside of the bracket. So you're going to take the p minus 1 and put that in a bracket. So you're going to have p minus 1. That's a part of the answer. What you're going to do is to write the same thing in this bracket, but now you're going to write a plus sign instead of a subtraction sign. So you're going to have p subtract plus 1. And that's how you factor a difference of 2 squared. Now let's move on to number 2. Factorize completely. X squared minus 5x plus 4. So now we want to factorize x squared minus 5x plus 4. Now, this expression is what we call a quadratic expression. We can factorize a quadratic expression by using the AC method. Now, AC, A is the coefficient of the x squared term, C is the constant. So you can find AC. So AC is equal to the coefficient of the x squared term times the constant. So this would be 1 times 4, which is 4. Now the idea is to rewrite the coefficient of the x term, which is minus 5 here. But how are you going to rewrite this minus 5? You must use two factors of AC, right? So you must use two factors of AC. When you either add them or subtract them, they gives you minus 5, right? So some factors of 4 are, you have 2 and 2, right? Because 2 times 2 is 4, right? And you have 1 and 4, 4 and 1, right? And those are all the factors of 4, right? So 1 times 4 give you 4, 4 times 1 give you 4. Now, let's see if we could use 2 times 2. If we use 2 times 2, if we add 2 plus 2, that's going to give us 4. So it seems as if we could use 1 and 4 or 4 and 1, right? Now, if we want a positive 4 when we multiply, 1 times 4 gives us positive 4. But if we add them, 1 plus 4 gives us positive 5 and not negative 5. So it means that we have to make the 1 negative and we also have to make the 4 negative. So if we make the 1 negative and the 4 negative, let's test it. Negative 1 minus 4, that gives us negative 5. Negative 1 times negative 4, that gives us positive 4. So B is equal to minus 1 minus 4. Right? So now, since we know what B is, we are going to rewrite our quadratic expression. So now, our new expression is x squared minus 1x minus 4x plus 4. Now, we have 4 terms, so we can factorize this quadratic expression by grouping. So if we factorize the first 2 terms, which is x squared minus 1x, what is common between these 2 terms? We have an x, right? We can use this x to divide each term. So x squared divided by x leave you with x, minus 1x divided by x leave you with minus 1. Here, we can factor out a negative 4. So if we factor out a negative 4, open a bracket. So we're going to take this negative 4 to divide each term. So negative 4x divided by negative 4, that leaves us with a positive x. Positive 4 divided by a negative 4, that leaves us with a negative 1. Now, one thing about factorizing quadratic expression, whatever is in this bracket should also be in the second bracket. That is if you are factorizing the quadratic expression correctly. So that is a sign or an indication to see if you are on the right track. So since we have x minus 1 here and we also have x minus 1 here, it indicates to us that I am on the right track. So now my final step is to factor out a x minus 1 out of both terms. So x minus 1. So if you factor out x minus 1 out of the first term, x is left, And if you factor out x minus 1 out of the second term, minus 4 is left. So your final answer is x minus 1 times x minus 4. Right? But note that the factor of this quadratic expression came from the b term here. The b term we use minus 1, minus 4, and note that minus 1 and minus 4 is a part of the factor. Alright? Now to part B. Part B, they ask us to factorize m squared minus 4n squared, right? Again, if you take a note at this expression is a difference of 2 squared. So what did they square to give us m squared? They squared m. Right? What did they square to give us 4n squared? They squared 2n. 2n squared is just 4n squared, right? And m squared is just m squared, right? So now to number 3. Factorize completely a squared minus 12a. A cubed, minus 12a. Now, if you note here, in the first term we have an a, and in the second term we have an a. That means a is common to both terms. That means we can factor out an a. If we factor out a out of a cubed, that leaves us with a squared. We factor out a out of 12a, that leaves us with minus 12a. So that is our factor there. Now to part B. Part B is a quadratic expression. So anytime you see an expression with a square term, it is normally a quadratic expression. So this is 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. Again, we can use the AC method to factorize this expression. So we know that AC here is going to be 2 times 3, which is actually equal to 6. Now we need 2 factors of 6. When we add or subtract them, it gives us minus 5. So our B term is going to equal to minus 2 minus 3, right? Because 2 factors of 6 is 2 times 3. So but negative 2 times negative 3, that gives us a positive 6. And negative 2 minus 3, that gives us a negative 5. So we can rewrite our expression to be 2x squared minus 2x minus 3x plus 3. Now at this stage we are going to factorize by grouping. So here we have 2x squared and 2x. That means 2x is common. So that means we can factor out 2x. 2x squared divided by 2x leave us with x. Minus 2x divided by 2x leave us with minus 1. Here we have 3 minus 3x and a plus 3. 3 is common, that means we can factor out a minus 3. Minus 3x divided by minus 3, that leaves us with x. Positive 3 divided by a negative 3, that leaves us with minus 1. Note here that we have x minus 1 in this bracket and we also have x minus 1 in that bracket. That is an indication that we are on the right track. So now we can factor out x minus 1. Factor out x minus 1 out of the first term, 2x is left. Factor out x minus 1 out of the second term, minus 3 is left. So our final answer is minus x minus 1 times 2x minus 3. Okay? And you can always double check this. If you expand these two factors, it should give you the original problem. Okay? Now to part C. Now part C, we have 4x squared minus 4. Now this expression is a difference of 2 squared. So you know they squared 2x to give you 4x squared, right? And they squared 2 to give you 4. So therefore, the factors of this difference of 2 squared expression is 2x minus 2 times 2x plus 2. And you can always expand your factors, and it should always give you the original problem. Alright? If it is correct. That is if it is correct. Alright? Question 4. Factorize completely. Part A. 4a squared minus 16. 4a squared minus 16. Now this is a difference of 2 squared. So you know they squared 2a to give you 4a squared. They squared 4 to give you 16. So therefore the factors are 2a minus 4 and 2a plus 4. Alright. For part B, 3y squared plus 2y minus 8. 3y squared plus 2y minus 8. We know that this is a quadratic expression, so we can factorize it by using the AC method. 3 times minus 8, that gives us minus 24. Now our B term should be 2 factors of minus 24. Whenever we add or subtract them, we get positive 2. So we know that 6 fours is 24, right? Now we want a positive 2 here. That means the 6 has to be positive and the 4 has to be negative. So 6 times negative 4 gives you negative 24. 6 minus 4 gives you positive 2. So we can rewrite this expression to be 3y squared plus 6y minus 4y minus 8. Right? Now factorize by grouping. We have 3y squared, we have 6y. 3y is common. 3y squared divided by 3y leaves us with y. 6y divided by 3y leaves us with plus 2. Here we can factor out a minus 4. Minus 4y divided by minus 4 leaves us with y. Minus 8 divided by minus 4 leaves us with plus 2. Now we can factor out y plus 2. Factor out y plus 2 out of the first term. 3y is left. Factor out y plus 2 out of the second term. Minus 4 is left. And that's it. Question 5. Factorize completely. X squared minus 36. So we have part A to be x squared minus 36. Clearly, you can see that this is a difference of 2 squared. So this is x all squared minus 6 all squared. Right? Our answer is x minus 6 and x plus 6. Alright? For part B, It is a quadratic expression. We have 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. AC is equal to 2 times minus 12. That gives us minus 24. Right? We need two factors, or B term should be two factors of minus 24. That when we add or subtract them, we get positive 5. We know that 8 and 3. 3 eighths is 24, right? But we want negative 24. But we also want a positive 5. So if I put the negative in front of the 8, I am actually going to get a negative 5. So I have to put the negative in front of the 3, right? So 8 times negative 3, that's negative 24. 8 minus 3, that's positive 5. So now we can rewrite our expression. So we have 2x squared minus 8x, sorry, plus 8x, plus 8x minus 3x minus our 12. We can now factorize by grouping. We have 2x squared and we have 8x. What is common? 2x. 2x squared divided by 2x, leave us with x. Positive 8x divided by 2x leaves us with positive 4. What can we factor here? We have minus 3x minus 12. The 8th of minus 3 and minus 12, that is what? 3, right? So we can factor out minus 3. Minus 3x divided by minus 3 leaves us with x. Minus 12 divided by minus 3 leaves us with plus 4. So now we have x plus 4 common to both terms. We can factor that out. So it's x plus 4. Factor out x plus 4 out of the first term, leave us with 2x. Factor out x plus 4 out of the second term, leave us with minus 3. Alright. Question number 5. Factorize. Question number 6, sorry. Factorize completely 6y cubed minus 18xy. So we know we have 6y cubed minus 18xy. What's the 8th of 6 and 18? We know that 3 sixes is 18, right? So since 3 sixes is 18, we can factor out a 6. We have y and we have y cubed and we have y. We are going to factor out a y since y has the lowest power here. So in other words, we are factoring out 6y. So 6y cubed divided by 6y, that leaves us with y squared minus 18 divided by 6, that leaves us with 3, and xy divided by y, that leaves us with x. So our factor is 6 times y squared minus 3x. Alright? For part B, we have 4m cubed minus 1. Now, because this is a cube and not squared, this is not a difference of 2 squared. So what is common between these terms? 1 is common, so we can factor out 1. Factor out 1 out of the first term, that gives us 4m cubed minus 1. Okay? Now to part C, we have a quadratic expression which is 2t squared minus 3t minus 2. AC again, AC is equal to 2 times minus 2, that's minus 4. Our B term should be 2 factors of 4, that gives, when we multiply 2 factors of minus 4. And that's going to be minus 4 plus 1. Think about it, minus 4 times 1, that gives us negative 4. Minus 4 plus 1, that gives us negative 3. So now we can rewrite our expression. So this is going to be 2t all squared minus 4t plus 1t plus 1t minus 2. Factorize by grouping. Here we have 2t squared minus 4t, so 2t is common. Take the 2t to divide each term, so 2t squared divided by 2t leaves us with t. 4t divided by 2t leaves us with 2. Here we can factor out a positive 1. And if you divide each term by 1, t minus 2 is going to be. Now we can factor out t minus 2. So we have t minus 2. Factor out t minus 2 out of the first term, 2t is left. Factor out t minus 2 out of the second term, plus 1 is left. Right? Now to our final part of the question, which is part D. We have 1 minus 4h squared. Now this is a difference of 2 squared. What can you square to give you 1? That's just 1 all squared. What can you square to give you 4h? That's just 2h all squared. Alright? So if you square 2h, you get 4h all squared. So our factor is 1 minus 2h times 1 plus 2h. Thank you for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day.